Yo, Neeb versus PiLiPiLi. It is going to be a PvP between two of North America's best Protoss going up against each other. The reigning WCS Montreal champion as well, to add things there. And obviously, I think it's a rematch. I believe they ended up playing obviously they played during the other stage. It was Swiss.
Yeah.
But it's
Everybody-
true. It's still true, okay? Shut up. I don't care what you say, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
No, I mean, to be fair, this is actually not the same format we've done in previous Kings of the North. This wasn't just round robins. It was Swiss format. So not every single
everyone
player
did.
has played every single player.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, well, the last time they played, remember, it did go in Neeb's favor, and there was some pretty fun games. So let's hope it's going to be as fun as a series as the last one was, but for Peely's sake, obviously not the same result. Who is this red Protoss spawning in the top left-hand corner from Storm Gaming? It is PiLiPiLi.
And his opponent spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We have the yellow Protoss player from Ting. You know him, you love him. It's Neeb. Okay. So, Tubba, how you feeling about this match? I mean, we talked a little bit about the who's probably going to be the favorite coming into this and stuff.
Sure.
But you mentioned how Peely is like this. He's a bat of nails, right? He's a very painful experience. Why would you say that? What is it about his play style and the way he likes to play that makes it feel way?
It's just like the way that he'll hit his timings. Like he'll go into like a standard opener, and then where most people are taking their third or something like that, and then probing it up, rather than like go into another tech path or something like even getting double forge upgrades like that, like particular moment. He might just drop down 6 more gateways like right after taking his third base, and then just commit every one of those minerals into like a giant adept attack instead of like getting that saturation. But it's not to say that he's not a good macro player. Like he's actually a good macro player, even in this match, especially in this matchup as well. But he is just he's so able to turn on this killer instinct and just snap.
That's basically the key word, right? It's killer instinct. He just has this ability to just see, I think that I have an opportunity to kill you right now. And he just goes for it. And I think because of it, he ends up having all of these times where he realizes he can go for this kind of weirdly timed, unusual attack that people will say, like, who does this? Like, it actually is very reminiscent of Huck, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Huck killer
MC too. Like,
yeah.
I was talking to funny about it, and I was like,
oh, man. Yeah. You'll see them go for like these attacks where you say like, this isn't a very normal thing to do, but it works out very well because you just see that weakness that a lot of other people don't seem to see. And that is what really gives Peely an advantage. But finding those kind of weaknesses versus a player like Neeb, Tempo, that's asking a lot.
It is. Oh, man. What? And this is the type of thing that he'll do too.
Okay.
Get a little puck tendencies,
I love it.
by the way. Going into this Nexus over here, the top side of the map, just to try to trick Neeb, because Neeb is a very, very smart player, right? Like, you try to play straight up with him, he tends to have the answers to what you're doing, and if you try to all in him, he's really good at defending it. So the best thing that you can do is just keep him guessing as best as you can, and something like this big gamble, I would say, by PiLiPiLi would be at least one of the things to do, but I don't know. Where does he go with it?
So Neeb has scouted around. He's moving in with a probe now. He's going to actually make it past the stalkers and see that there is no Nexus, but then he also sees sentries. So here is the really weird thing. Typically, if after seeing that Nexus is not there, your immediate thought is, okay, there's either a proxy or something weird going on. We've already seen Neeb go for scouting for a lot of proxies. Oh my God. I don't know why Neeb would ever scout that far north, though. I don't actually think he's going to find that.
Oh, maybe he thinks it's like a proxy robo.
That would be, I think, the most sensible guess, because this is not a sensible build, Tempo. I mean, Peely is demonstrating the way that you maybe are going to beat Neeb is you don't play sensibly. That actually is one of the things that makes the most sense, because now Neeb has to make a choice. He does eventually get those sentries up, but he gets them up a lot later on than he would have otherwise, because if you're going to face off against a big attack, you don't want these sentries are going to be like, oh, okay, cool. I like do my little tickle beam and do maybe force field out like one unit.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose the energy.
Yeah, that early game energy is just like not really there. Maybe, it'd be something that would at least not make you that scared if you're Neeb.
Yeah.
What makes you scared is that you don't see a nexus. So you're thinking, okay, is he going to try to force field me out of my base? Is he trying to do a big all in where he does something like that and I can't get in? Because remember, it's not like PiLiPiLi's taking a gold, right? It's not like he's getting a real advantage. There's no straight up on paper advantage that he has here. It's mainly a psychological one that he has. And the fact that you see an, I would say, hallucinated Phoenix means that he's not going to be using that energy to try to do some weird force field shenanigans, right? Like it's definitely he wants information. And all in usually doesn't care what kind of information there is there. It's just to be like, okay, I'm going to kill you.
I think Neeb probably, he doesn't get 100% confirmation that there is a hidden base, but Neeb knows that PiLiPiLi is not actually a bad player. He knows that PiLiPiLi is not going to be sitting on one base with 2 gateways and a Robo and a Twilight Council and not actually have anything else or that big of an army behind it. He knows all of this, and he can probably suspect at this point that there is
like
probably
something.
a hidden expansion somewhere. You can see that he's actually sending a Phoenix along the bottom left, but it's in the top right that he's not going to be seeing.
It's just one of those mind fricks, I guess, if you will, where, hey, you know what? If I just play safe, then hopefully I should be okay, is what Neeb is thinking. And you know what? He is. He's actually ahead in probes. Neeb didn't cut probes in order to try to defend against an all-in. So he knows that PiLiPiLi is on a second base. So like the problem with this map is that since there is no gold, boom, there we go. The Phoenix is gonna find it. But the problem with this map is that you don't know where that base is at all, because it's like, okay, if we're on Odyssey, I'm gonna go obviously look for the gold bases first. And I don't know, man.
Well, PiLiPiLi has one, realistically, he probably has one opportunity to make this work. He's got resonating glaives, and Neeb is going for that robotics base. So eventually, Neeb is just going to overtake him with the tech of disruptors and cause a lot of problems. But right now, PiLiPiLi does have a better tech advantage. He has a larger army supply. He needs to deal with the photon overcharge. And oh, nice pickup on that Stalker and the Adept. Actually keeps all these units alive. Is going to warp in a lot more. Here we go. Adept shading on it. This is actually something that could very realistically work. But wow, Neeb prevents the shades.
Yep, he's able to put down that pylon just in the nick of time. PiLiPiLi's going to try to fight on another photon overcharge, but hey, this might work out because of the fact that he does have a decent amount of resonating glaive adepts, but that pylon's still putting in so much work.
Oh man, the Warp Prism goes down for PiLiPiLi. He's taking out a lot of workers, but he needs to break through over here. Another Immortal comes to reinforce over here for Neeb, but he's not able to get on top of his opponent's Immortal. And another Photon Overcharge comes in from the high ground, but the Mothership Core gets sniped off. PiLiPiLi is going in for the kill right now. Are we witnessing this tempo? GG! PiLiPiLi with the upset, taking game number 1 against the literal god Neeb. What up, Europeans? Only North Americans can take maps off of this guy at Montreal and here.
I love it. Fear Dragon's North America passion, man. It's beautiful.
Oh my god.
It is beautiful. And there we go. There's a spike bat to the face right there. But that was not even like the straight up, I'm coming at you with the spike bat. He hides it behind his back before he stands in front of you, and then he smacks you in the face with it. So you know he's doing something weird, and it's not like a bouquet of flowers behind his back. But you're not expecting it to be a bat with spikes on it either. And damn, game number 1 goes to PiLiPiLi.
Oh my god! I'm talking to PiLiPiLi, and he's saying, "Dude, I'm trying to throw as fast as I can, and I accidentally won. I really want to play Dota right now, but like, for those who don't know, PiLiPiLi, a lot of players, they have their ups and downs in terms. I want to call it passion or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. They have their ups and downs in terms of how invested they are into like playing the game and everything. Kings of the North is a nice opportunity. PiLiPiLi has been playing a little bit more lately. It's been feeling a little bit more of that. But after Montreal, he definitely had a bit of a period where he was saying, there's all the WCS events are over for the year, so I'm just gonna kind of enjoy myself. I have school and everything. And he's like been playing a ton of Dota with Chan Kim, one of his good friends and everything. But he hasn't actually been playing an absurd amount of StarCraft lately. Damn. So he's actually not joking when he says that. He actually really just wants to go play Dota right now.
That's the funny thing about him too. He'll say at a tournament too, like he's a pretty honest guy, like even when he's just like, no, I'm gonna get wrecked, or something like, dude, I'm actually trying to throw, and it's like, he probably is.
Yeah, but in all jokes, he's not actually trying to throw the game, but he's doing some funky things because he says, you know what, I'm not going to be able to beat Neeb in straight up game. So I'm going to go for a Hail Mary play, and either it's going to work or it's going to look horrendous. We'll see if we can pull this off in game number 2 as well. As we hop in and introduce the players as we move on to Mech Depot. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Who would have thought? Down 0-1. Give it up for Ting's Neeb.
Oh boy. And in the top right-hand corner, he is the master of deception. Give it up for Psystorm PiLiPiLi.
So, Tempo, do
Well,
you,
what's
as
up,
PiLi, in game number 2, I feel like after that game 1, a lot of people would say, you know what, if this is a normal series between 2 normal players and something like that just happened, I would say, okay, we're going to go back to a standard looking game. I actually don't think that PiLi should go back to a standard looking game. I think he should continue to throw out the weirdness.
Yeah.
Because that's his best chance against Neeb.
I agree. I mean, I don't know how many things he has up his sleeve, but knowing PiLiPiLi, he probably has quite a few things. And even if they're not things that he's practiced, they're probably in his mind like, this would never work. And then he'll do it like in a series like this just to try it out. Just like that last game. I wonder if he really thought that was going to work. Clearly he did, because he ended up doing a damn good job with it. There wasn't any real fancy micro there. It was just a very sick mind game. Getting Neeb to tech up to the disruptors, I think, is what sealed the deal, making him feel a little bit more comfortable. He decided that, okay, I can tech, I'm safe. We're going to go into that PvP stage where nobody attacks each other because of Mothership Core, right? But no. PiLiPiLi,
that is actually, it's something that is this, it's like a weird weakness of Neeb, is that he's so good at StarCraft.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to explain that, because I just said the fact that Neeb is so good at StarCraft is a weakness. That doesn't make sense, right? That's like a paradox. But
I know.
The thing is, Neeb is so good partially because he knows how good his micro is and he can get away with these miraculous defenses. But because of that, he also cuts a lot of corners. He has some of the thinnest defenses you will see around us. Oh, PiLi getting down the Nexus. That actually would have been a huge annoyance if he didn't get that down, since he didn't have any gateway units starting up.
Yeah, he even skipped it out. That's crazy. PiLiPiLi taking a very greedy route here. And Neeb doesn't know that. I mean, maybe if he is that good and he's like, okay, you can get an Nexus that fast and maybe you skipped on units, but I don't know, man. He doesn't know if they're on the map or something. It looks like he is looking.
I think he probably does have a good idea that there was something like that. He's looking for the probe. He does get the snipe off. He saw that earlier, but just based on the fact that Neeb knew when his gateway units are popping, he has a good sense, I think, of when PiLi's should have been popping. And the probe was up in the main base around that time. He saw, oh, wait a second, your gateways aren't actually making anything right now. So
that too.
But I feel like PiLi got away with it. He's not really going to get punished in any way for it.
Nope. He is going to be able to get his tech, which is going to be the same as what Neeb is going for. So what is Neeb going to make out of his Stargate first? Is it going to be a Phoenix? He's going right for the Oracle. They're both going to go for the Oracle. And yeah, they both have Mothership Cores. Pylon positioning for PiLi looking okay. Neeb's is a little bit better. No, yeah, it is. He has 3 pylons covering everything. PiLi has the 2 edges, but I think with the photon overcharge, you do have full coverage of like a mineral line at least.
Yeah, I think that the 2 pylons for PiLi, there may be a small little gap in the main base where maybe something could happen. But I think I'm a little bit worried if he doesn't get out a few more stalkers, though, that he's going to be in a bit of trouble. But okay, PiLi, he's going straight up for a fleet beacon. It's not even like a proxy fleet beacon. It's just like a straight up, I'm making a fleet beacon in my main base. You're probably going to scout this with your Oracle. Like, but let's go.
Yeah, well, Neeb is going for an Adept Warpin as well. So you're going to see them both hit each other around the same time as the Oracle goes into the natural of Neeb. So now Neeb is losing a lot of his probes, but PiLiPiLi, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
So much damage. He just killed 9 workers, and he's gonna lose. Oh, he's gonna lose the Oracle as he tries to go in for a suicide on one last remaining unit. But Adepts get picked off. The Stalker's warping in inside the main base. I think that PiLi should be able to force this back though, and he loses less workers.
Wow, and they both lost their respective Oracles, so that's pretty good for PiLi.
And not only that, but Neeb also invested 2 adepts into that. So that was a bigger investment
Mhm.
for Neeb
No,
than
you're
it was for
absolutely right.
PiLi. PiLi
Wow.
even gets up a Phoenix. He's gonna be able to take care of the second Oracle, no
Oh,
problem. Oh no, he misses it. He misses it.
well, Neeb is gonna get the second Oracle in, but you know what's really good for Neeb here is he gets the scout. He knows that it's gonna be
Mhm.
double Stargate, and that second Oracle flew enough to the bottom right that he saw the fleet
Oh,
beacon. So
but
he's
the
like, "What the hell are
adepts.
you doing?"
These adepts in the natural, killing off a lot more workers, and PiLi will eventually get the kill on the final adept, but he did actually fall a little bit further behind. So whatever economic advantages he had, kind of given up, but first carry's on the way. Oh, okay. I actually Tempo. Let me just take a moment to explain why I think Neeb is such a glorious, wonderful, and intelligent human being.
Yo, so
Because
hit me.
the counter to carriers, what Neeb is saying, the counter to carriers is Dark Templar. Because when you go for this fast of a carrier play, first of all, you don't want to get a third Stargate up
Hell
this early
no.
on. You don't have the economy for that. Your
I got
carriers are
time
going
for
to take
that.
your carriers are going to take up all the Stargate production time. And you know what Keely's not going to have? He's not going to have any detection because he didn't get a
Yes.
robo. So he's not going to have
He
an
lost the
Oracle.
Oracle. Yep.
He's not gonna have a chance to make an Oracle because he's busy making carriers. This is actually like the most meta, holy cow, Dark Templar counter carriers play I've ever seen.
Yeah, that is insane that he's going for this style here. And you know what? Billy's gonna get blindsided by it. He's gonna get completely blindsided. He's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna get all my carriers up. They're gonna be sick because you know, not that many things can kill things that shoot up. And you know what? It's just gonna be DTs in his mineral line, and he's just gonna lose absolutely everything if he doesn't catch on to this in time. This Phoenix is going on in here though. And he does
Oh,
see the DT shrine.
oh boy. Okay. Is that going to give him enough time to react? Because the DTs have already been warped in or make their way across the map. PiLi did spawn out that pylon and took
Does
it
he
out
realize
pretty
it?
quickly.
Okay, he
Oh,
does.
he's going for a full wall off. This is actually going to be such a brilliant way to delay and buy some time.
Wow. Well then, they are here. Oh
Oh,
my god,
he's
he's
trying
gonna
to.
break
Oh,
on through. He's gonna get the
can he
sentry.
force seal? Oh, he does get the force seal. Prevents them from moving up into the main base at least. So he's only going to lose one of his bases mining for a little bit.
Yep. And the observer is not on the way yet because the robo is not completed. Now Neeb is taking
Yeah.
a third during this, so even though PiLi is doing a decent job, he's not mining and he's also not getting his economy at least in the right direction. He's not
Mhm.
able to at least take a third. He can't get those fifth and sixth gas that he needs in order to produce more carriers. And if Neeb gets a third base, he might even just be able to go into Stargate of his own and try to get up there. But it looks like he's just going to stay on Gateway Tech.
You know what's actually kind of funny? Neeb's
What
warp
the?
gate count not that high. He's going to be finishing up 4 warp gates, but with the DTs cleaned up, I actually am legitimately wondering if PiLi just pushes across the map right now after losing all those units.
Yeah,
Does he
Neeb
just win the
has to
game
get
with
these
3
out.
carriers and like a handful of stalkers? Because
It
3
could happen.
carriers actually are hard to take care of.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. 3 carriers, and what else does PiLi have? He has an Oracle, and it looks like 5 Stalkers on the ground. Look at the probe
Ooh.
count. So all Neeb really has to do is survive here.
Mhm.
If he can deal with the carriers, and he is just golden here. But, oh, gosh, you were
Oh,
absolutely right with these carriers. I'm so scared for Neeb, who I don't believe. Okay, he has Blink. I
okay.
thought he didn't have Blink. So that can
Yeah.
actually be a very important factor here.
Yeah, this is actually going to be really difficult. This is looking better and better for Neeb, especially Guardian Shield, Photon Overcharge. All these things are going to really complicate things right now. And
And the
did he just
Archons,
kill the? No, he didn't kill the Observer. But
yo, the
uh,
Archons are going to be really good here to deal with those interceptors. So once
mhm.
he's able to deal with the interceptors, he can blink under those carriers. Now, PiLi might just start targeting down these stalkers, but he's
Oh,
making something
hmm.
with this. Oh, he has to be so
Okay.
careful.
Carrier's getting focus fire down, but the stalkers are getting taken care of pretty quickly. It seems like though PiLi loses one of the carriers, the second carrier is going to get blunk underneath and taken out. And PiLiPiLi, it was a valiant effort. He almost made it work, but Neeb ties up the series 1-1.
These games are so meme worthy. Like M Cannon just did a meme disruptor video, and like I feel like Protoss is in meme land right now, and I'm loving it.
I'm not gonna lie,
I'm
that was
loving it.
actually a pretty glorious game. If it were not for Neeb's really quick DT play, and actually, even with that, if PiLi had gotten up that wall, and he got up the wall in, and it was still building. If he had gotten up the sentry also, like literally 3 seconds faster warping on that sentry, he would have been able to force field.
Yep.
He could have bought a little bit more time. The Oracle would have actually come out just barely in the nick of time to revelation at least one of the DTs. He would have had full mining in his main base. He didn't have to like pull workers around nearly as much. Like that actually looks like a completely different game if Sentry gets warped in 3 seconds earlier. And I think that in that same situation, PiLiPiLi gets a counter attack across the map. He has a 4th and 5th carrier possibly joining in, and he actually maybe wins that game.
Because he doesn't lose all that mining time. Like losing the mining time is so killer.
And not just the mining time, it was the time that the DTs kept the carriers at home. PiLiPiLi had 2 carriers when the DTs hit, and he had his 3rd carrier popping out around the time the DT made its way into the main base. And then it took another minute or so for the carriers to finally clean everything up and move across the map.
So the time, and it allowed Neeb to get the 2 pylons there too. Like those 2 photon overcharges were pretty crucial to get the Archons up. Because I mean, if the carriers jump right on top of the stalkers, then it's just like, well, you know, what do I do now? I'm gonna try to continue to warp in stalkers, but it might be a snowball effect at that point. So Neeb, this PvP, I'm loving it.
I am super duper loving this, as we'll see what PiLiPiLi has in store for us as we hop into game number 3. What is the way that PiLiPiLi tries to take a game off of Neeb? There's only one thing that can answer that, and that's just to wait and see. I don't even know if PiLiPiLi knows what he's gonna do in game 3. I don't think he's actually planned that far ahead yet.
Nope. He's like, shoot, I was either supposed to get 0-2'd here or 2-0 by now. But no, I think PiLiPiLi, you know damn well he knows what he's doing. He's like, all right, I've been practicing for this for weeks. It's like the builds that you just kind of conjure up when you're in the bathroom, like on the toilet or something, or in the shower. You're like, no, that would never work. I think he's just taking all of those now, right? He's just like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
What if I make a void ray and I send it past
on the other side of the map and make void rays? Like back in the day when he used to do that, he's like,
used to do that versus Bales all the time. He would win games because you just have surprise. There's 9 void rays out. I would love that. Actually, there's. What I'm saying. If that happened on Abyssal Reef, man, I would love that. As we do hop on to Abyssal Reef, there's a sign up 1-1. It's our final game of the night. Whoa. Thank you all so much for sticking around with us through all the tips and turns, the ups and downs. As we start down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, top of the yellow Protoss player. Give it up for Ting's Neeb.
Ting. And in the top left-hand corner, bringing out some of the most crazy strategies I've seen in a pro game, it is the red Protoss player, PiLiPiLi, from Psystorm Gaming. Someone goes, sing the anniversary, the best spin is always green now.
Oh, man. For anyone that's tuning in a little bit on the later side of this, by the way, this is a qualifying match for the offline finals. This game right here decides who is going to go straight to the offline finals and who is going to have to fight their way through the losers bracket for that spot there. And it's not just like, oh, you have to fight your way through like 1 additional round. No, you got to go through 3 different players. The loser is going to be facing off versus either Puck or Jig. Actually, it's Puck or Jig at this point. Okay, I think it's actually it's guaranteed Jig as far as if I'm reading the bracket seating correctly. The loser is going to go on to face versus Jig, and then the winner of Buster and Jim Rising, and then they have to play 1 more match versus someone who drops down. So it's going to be rough.
Yeah, it's a rough road, man. When you're in the losers bracket, you definitely have to fight, but we have seen some people be able to fight from the losers bracket and get pretty far in the tournament, if not even win. Thinking like MLG days. I can't remember who it was, but I want to say Alive at something, but I could be wrong. But look at here in the top corner of the map, Fear Dragon, we have a pylon. And what is he gonna put here? It's so far away.
I feel like it's got to be a proxy Twilight Council. Like, if you're going to go for the Stargate.
Okay,
you know what? I take it back because we're watching PiLiPiLi versus Neeb right now. We've seen that PiLiPiLi just wants to, like, legit. Oh, my God. Wait a second. Oh, okay. He's canceling the Zealots. Oh, he's canceling both the Zealots as the probe comes in because I think he knew that the probe was going to be coming in. He might start up those Zealots again, maybe. Or is this just a defensive play in case there was a big attack? No, he's going to start up 2 Stalkers. So I was going to say, like, maybe this is going to turn into some kind of like 4-gate warp prism, like, gasless, maybe actually a 5-gate Zealot Warp Prism all-in, which is something you used to actually be able to do back in the day. You mine exactly enough gas for a Robo and Warp Gate, and then you just make nonstop Zealots and Warp Prisms on one
Like,
base. It's actually
and just
sick,
go for
but
it.
yeah.
Damn, this is crazy.
But no, it's actually not going to be the case. We actually, wow, he made the Stalkers cancel, or sorry, made
Canceled
the
them,
Zealots,
and then
canceled
made
them,
it
made
depths.
Stalkers, canceled them, now makes Adepts and lets them finish.
Like, I don't even know. He's doing this, man, on purpose. I just he wants the casters to be confused as well. So not only is he trying to confuse Neeb and maybe himself,
Oh,
but he's like
okay.
the casters too.
It's Disruptor drops, I believe. It could be Colossus drops because this is PiLiPiLi trying to mess with Neeb's head. But
Wow.
it should probably be Disruptor drops. And this is not M. Canning's like Crimea River disruptors. These are the good old disruptors that can do massive damage.
Yeah, so we most likely are going to see that disruptor come out afterward, and it's still a one-base style. So, I mean, the fact that Neeb is taking a base right now, even if he loses a decent amount of probes, he will be able to remake them. Is all going to be up to PiLiPiLi's follow-up and how much damage the first one does. If he goes for the mineral line, I'm wondering, like, does he go for the mineral line or does he just go right into okay, he's taking a natural. Okay. Calm down, Tempo. Just dude, this is mess. I love it. It's killing me softly in the best way. Like, if I die early and young, I would definitely want to die from excitement of this game.
Man, Neeb may actually just breaking. God, this is so funny because Neeb doesn't really see too much tech. And you might be thinking, is there like a Stargate somewhere? As you can see, he's actually sending his Stalkers kind of a little bit more forward so they can see a big attack coming. He's so in the dark right now about what's going to be happening. And the funny thing is, if the Warp Prism really hugs the edge of the map, this could really catch Neeb totally off guard.
Yeah, but you got to give it up to Neeb here. He's playing so safe. He has one Stalker out on the right side or the top. He has an Observer in his natural, so it could go to his main if he needed it to be a defense against DTs. And he also has a Stalker a little bit far out on that north side too, or the left side rather, middle north, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Adept's going to actually pull this one Stalker that's a little bit further forward over to the natural. Adepts are going to let their shade finish and actually going to get picked off over here. Only going to be able to pick off one worker as it looks like the Focus Fire not quite there on the second one, but that gives the Warp Prism time. Double Disruptors going to be moving in. Does he get to attack it? Oh, he's going after the sentries and the Stalkers. He does get both of them.
All right. I mean, that was not as bad as I thought it would be. He didn't get any of the probes there, and it was only really the sentries, and I think maybe a Stalker that was there too. Did he even get the Stalker? Yeah, he did get the Stalker too. So
he did get a Stalker. Here's the thing: is that the Disruptors can actually pick away at the army, and yes, this was an investment for PiLi, but if you take out the army, it's actually a lot harder to deal with this Disruptor drop. And as long as he doesn't lose too much health on these Disruptors, it's absolutely no loss for him. He does have to be a bit careful. He doesn't want to take Neeb into a pure macro game and not do any damage, but this could still work. He's getting Disruptors is actually not a bad thing in PvP. Like just in the general long term.
Oh no! He rallied the Disruptor to the natural of Neeb, who's gonna try to save it, but no. Man. So the thing about Neeb though is that he started going blink. So if PiLi is not careful and Neeb does not reveal blink, he could lose the Warp Prism with both of the Disruptors there. And then, I mean, I think there's just a huge lead that Neeb is going to have if that would be the case. Even if you have Warp Prism speed, like, he has to be so careful. Yeah. So he's going for an attack.
He's actually going for an attack with such a sparse number of units. But, you know, I guess if you look at the army supply, he's really not that far behind. And he's got the Disruptors. But I think he's going to need at least 2 Disruptor hits to land on those Immortals immediately to just take them out of the fight. And then maybe he can make some magic happen with Guardian Shield and something. But here we go. We'll see. Oh, okay. He gets the Sentries with 1 Disruptor hit.
Wow, he still has another Disruptor hit, Fear Dragon. And the Photon Overcharge is going to be good, but the Disruptor shot is great.
Okay, he has a 3rd Disruptor also out, but the Warp Prism is in range of the Stalkers. He's got to pull it back.
Speed. Holy crap. No more force fields for Neeb.
Yeah, but that Warp Prism is now so far back, it's not really going to be able to do the pickup micro that it was doing earlier on. Those Stalkers could easily, even just 2 or 3 of them could blink forward and sign off that Warp Prism. I think it'd actually be worth it, but not going to opt to do so. It looks like PiLi's actually making Immortals behind this now instead of Disruptors.
All right. Well, Neeb definitely has the best mobile
Oh,
units
oh,
that he could ask for. He uses the
oh!
disruptor, and it's gonna get taken out. The one that did have the shot.
And all the other ones, like you said, are on cooldown. He loses most of the disruptors. Zell's getting picked off. Is this going to be a little bit too much? The Immortals also remain alive for Neeb. I think this actually might have been the winning play for him, as even though War Prism too far back to really get involved in micro, PiLiPiLi's getting pushed back.
He is getting pushed back indeed. Neeb is taking a third behind it all. He jumps on the last few units of PiLiPiLi and is gonna even get that Warp Prism just barely. He doesn't get it. And now he blinks up and gets it. And the aggression of PiLiPiLi comes to a screeching halt as Neeb pushes across the map to get yet another free. Immortal like, yo, where's the party at? Yeah.
Go Doodle. Chan Kim is
Kim
best
the best
Meepo. I guess that's as close to a GG as we're going to get. But congratulations. Neeb advances on 2-1 in a heart-pounding series of PvP to be remembered. And PiLiPiLi's going to drop down to that low losers bracket.
Indeed. Really, really entertaining series there. And then PiLiPiLi saying, Chan Kim best Meepo.
Oh, those Dota kids.
Dota reference.
Those Dota
kids.
Wow.
Too funny.
But that is going to actually do it for today's broadcast. So again, congratulations to our 3 victors. We still have one more person who's going to be playing from that winner's bracket. It's going to be Masa versus
Victors,
Sapi.
but none of their names are Victor. No, I was kidding.
And I thought I was bad with the dad jokes. Tempo.
Oh yeah, you taught me. I only learned from the best, baby. I only learned from the best.
Oh boy, but man, now that you've thrown out my tempo, or you might say my pacing, we are gonna see that Scarlet, Jon Snow, and Neeb will advance on, and we will see them at the Kings of the North offline finals. Very, very exciting, and I am definitely interested to see how things are going to go. But of course, again, Masa versus Suppi, another final series that's going to decide who's going to move on in that 4th spot. There are 2 spots available through the losers bracket, but it's definitely not a super fun run. And of course, the loser of Masa versus Suppi is going to have to face off versus Puck. That's definitely not a super fun matchup to go up against. Puck is a very, very strong player who also took a game off of Neeb.
Wow, you're right. Yeah, if you look at the earlier stages, I think he was the only one that took a game off of Neeb leading up here. And now we're going to add PiLiPiLi to that too, so yeah. Map score doesn't matter in this one, though. It's just about winning. You got to get that W.
This is a straight-up double elimination bracket, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. If you guys are interested in showing a bit of support for Kings of the North, please be sure to check out Cheers for Gaming. Use the promo code ESChamp. Trust me and Tempo, we both basically live in our chairs because we are resident nerds that just sit in our chair for most of the day.
I even went to the hardware store and bought a seatbelt so that I could strap myself in when I play StarCraft too. I did.
Oh, hot damn. And you know what, Tempo? The other thing is, I was going to say, maybe you don't actually spend all day in those wonderful DX Racer chairs you can find on the Cheers for Gaming website, because you got abs of steel, man. You do those sit-ups, but then I remembered,
dude, you know how I get abs of steel for your dragon?
Is it because these DX Racer chairs can go back 180 degrees super flat? You can lay down in them? Oh.
Boom. You know how I get down.
But of course, be sure to check them out, guys. Cheers for Gaming. And of course, Asus ROG provides all sorts of wonderful hardware. If you want a super duper smooth StarCraft experience, be sure to check them out. And they have great laptops, monitors, hardware, and for your desktop as well. All sorts of crazy cool stuff. And of course, also be sure to check out the Match Arena page, !Match Arena in the chat. You can find a link to that Match Arena page. Contribute your own money to the prize pool if you're so inclined. And of course, you can add $1 to the prize pool from courtesy of Match Arena using the promo code KOTN4. And of course, we are very close and narrowing in on that wonderful prize money, or that prize goal for the Match Arena page. If you guys are interested, I think we're over 1/4 of the way there. And as we get closer and closer, there's all kinds of awesome stretch rewards you guys can check out. But that is going to be it for us. Tempo, any closing thoughts, any closing words, man?
Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks everybody that tuned in and stuck it through. We did have a few issues today, but we did finally end up being able to finish everything. So yeah,
it was worth the wait, man.
Those games were great. Yeah. I'm really happy that the games turned out that way, man. Especially that the Scarlet Semper game 1 was great. And then, geez, just like after that, so much action basically. didn't really stop. I don't think there was any game where like nothing happened when people were just like, "Yep, just gonna sit here and not do much." Nah, man, it was crazy.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it. So thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Fear Dragon. I'm joined by Tempo. Our original broadcaster was Joe Laguidis before his entire PC and all of his electronics and all of his cable and connection to the world suddenly turned down. And we had the wonderful Austin who joined us and was able to pick up from where Joe left off. But that's going to be it. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more Kings of the North. At least I know you'll see maybe Tempo. I won't be here, but there's going to be another broadcast at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. If you guys are interested in that.
Indeed. So take care, everybody. Much love. Thanks for tuning, and we'll see you tomorrow.